Today I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite cruise lines now that I'm over 70. And they are different choices from when I was younger, that is for sure. And I feel it's very important that those of us who are older make wise choices if we are selecting a cruise line, because when I was younger, I made some bad choices and it affected the enjoyment of my cruise. Hi, I'm Sandy from Sandy Over 70. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I hope you'll subscribe and click the notification button so you can be notified when I post new videos. I recently posted a video where I gave my thoughts about Carnival, Royal Caribbean, American Cruise Line Independence, American Queen, and Viking. And I'll put the link to that video in the description below. After I did the video, I realized that I had not talked about my personal 3 favorite cruise lines. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is unscripted. I'm just going to give you my thoughts about these cruise lines. And some of you will disagree, and some of you will agree, and some of you who have never cruised before may find this information helpful. So here we go. I've mentioned previously how important it is to choose a cruise line that's appropriate to your age and interests. I've been cruising since I was 22, and I can assure you that the cruise lines I cruised on at 22, 32, and 42 are totally different from the ones I enjoy now, being over 70. So in this age group that I now exist in, I have 3 favorites that I'm going to share with you. The first one is Holland America. And I'm going to go back to my mid-40s on my first Holland America cruise. And I booked it through a travel agent. I knew nothing about this cruise line, and I wasn't all that knowledgeable about cruising at that time. So I asked the travel agent, what is the age group on this cruise? And he said, oh, all ages. And I believed him. No, at that time, when I got on the ship, people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, I was about 44 at the time. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he had told me that. I'm sure he didn't know, or he just wanted to make the sale. But when we did the safety check and we had to go on the deck, people rolled out in their walkers and canes. And I thought, well, maybe the healthy people are on the other side of the ship. I mean, yeah. Well, it turned out it wasn't all that bad. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed the cruise. And I enjoyed the people, and I cruised with Holland America quite a few more times. But I just wanted to tell you that Holland America has changed dramatically. Unfortunately, people still have this image in their heads of it being really an old-fashioned traditional cruise line with older people. And yes, there are still older people, but I would say now it's the baby boomers that are on there because the baby boomers are the older people. That's us. So let me tell you what's changed and what hasn't changed. First of all, they were bought up by Carnival after I cruised on them originally, and we were concerned because their food was so good. And I can say that Carnival didn't do too much damage to what they were known for, and the food has remained very good. Not quite the same, because they used to make Caesar salads at your table, even in the main dining room, because that was actually before they had specialty dining. So everyone ate in the main dining room or the buffet. And they would do crepe Suzette at the table. It would be flaming. Well, that's all gone. You know, that's all gone. But the food is still good. Let me tell you about the entertainment that they used to have and what they have now. They used to have the worst entertainment at sea, honestly. That's my opinion. The people they brought in, I can't begin to tell you. Yes, they did have some singers and dancers. They were mediocre. I'm sorry, but they were. I mean, sometimes they weren't even in step. They would bring in comedians, jugglers, whatever, the usual. But they weren't top of the line. And usually toward the end of the cruise, the Indonesian crew, because they were known for having an Indonesian crew with a training center right in Indonesia, they would put on a talent show. And yes, it was hokey, but it was so sweet, and so we enjoyed it. So that's the old Holland America. The new Holland America, totally different. I was on the Koningsdam, and I did a 2-week Norway cruise, so I got a real feel for it. Their evening performances are superb. They put in LED lighting, and the background scenery is really beautiful. The singers and dancers are excellent. I was very, very impressed with the entertainment. They've also put in many of the ships what they call the music walk, and they want to be known as the music ship. And so there's one part of the ship that has all the music venues. And when I was on the Koningsdam, there was the B.B. King Blues Lounge, and many of the ships still have that. And this was a group with a singer, and they played basically rock and roll in that venue. And it was very popular. People got up to dance. Now, I understand that in some of their ships, they're replacing it with what they're calling the Rolling Stones Rock Room. And there is no longer B.B. King, but in other ships, B.B. King remains. So you really need to check out what's on the ship that you're considering going on, if it matters to you. They also have what's called Billboard on Board. And that's a little confusing title, because what it is the piano bar. They have 2 pianos, and that's also very popular. Now, on my ship, we had the Lincoln Center performers, and they would do chamber music, basically, beautiful classical music in the afternoon. There would be 4 young artists who would play. But now they're expanding that, and they're enlarging the group, and they're moving it to the main stage. I guess it's been very popular. So there's that music option. On some of the ships, there is the Rolling Stones Lounge, where they play strictly rock music. Anyway, that gives you a flavor for how it's changed. And I have to say, I really enjoyed my cruise to Norway. However, some of you may know that my husband and I are ballroom dancers, and there was no ballroom dancing on this Holland America ship, which to the old timers, this is pretty amazing. They can hardly believe it, because Holland America was known for its huge ballroom and live orchestra where they played ballroom music every night. But that no longer is popular, and they have stopped it. And we could not find any ballroom music, except since this was a 2-week cruise, they had 3 tea dances, which means it's a dance at 3 p.m. in the afternoon or thereabouts. They had their live band played ballroom dance music in the Queen's Lounge. I believe it's called the Queen's Lounge. And so we had 3 wonderful afternoons of dancing. But I'm not sure they do that on shorter cruises. And it's not important to most people. It's just important to us. So because of this dancing issue, I have not since gone on Holland America. But that doesn't mean you wouldn't love it. The next cruise line I'm going to talk about is Princess. And I've been on quite a few Princess cruises. Let me just start out by saying the negative with Princess cruises is their cabins are so small. Even their veranda cabins do not have a sofa to sit on. And if you want a little bigger space, you need to get a mini suite. And a mini suite on Princess means you get a little sofa. So that's the negative. Otherwise, they are a very elegant cruise line. And their entertainment is good. Their food is good. And I haven't been on them for quite a few years. Of course, I haven't been on anything because of the pandemic. So there was this big space where I didn't cruise. But on my last cruise, it was the only problem we had was getting into the dining room. For some reason, we had to wait like 20 minutes in line, and I understand that still happens, so that's another negative. But I do want to say Princess is a cruise line that's really good for over 70. You don't see a lot of children running around. It's not geared to children, just like Holland America is not geared to children. So it makes it a quieter, more serene experience for us older folks. Princess has something they call the medallion class. It's not a class of anything. It's just an amenity that you get. And you get a pendant that you can wear around your neck or in a wristband if you want to pay extra for the wristband, or a piece of jewelry you can put it in. And it opens your door as you're approaching your door. It unlocks your cabin door. You can order drinks with it. You can pay for things with it. But the thing I like best about the medallion is that there are giant screens in the corridors where you can walk up to it and place your medallion against it, and it will show a map of the ship. And if you have someone you're traveling with and you've listed them and their medallion that you'd like to keep track of them, it will show you where this person is on the ship. It will flip to the floor. It will show you what room they were in. This is especially helpful if you are traveling with someone who gets lost, someone with memory issues or someone elderly, because trying to find someone on one of these big ships is not easy. And telephones don't generally work on ships unless you're making special arrangements. I find this a big plus for Princess. They're about to launch a new class of ships that looks very, very different from their regular ships, and I am very tempted to try one of their new ships, the Sun Princess, and followed by the Star Princess. I am tempted to try one in 2024, and I'll, of course, let you know if I do that. There were some bad reviews coming through on Princess after they restarted sailing after the pandemic, and so I hesitated to book. It was basically about service, and I still see some negative reviews, but I also see some good ones, and I think it's probably safe for me to try it again, and I may do that in 2024. The third cruise line I'm going to talk about is Celebrity, and they are actually owned by Royal Caribbean, but they're the upscale version of Royal Caribbean. And I would say right now, this is my favorite cruise line. It is not geared to children. It is upscale. It is rather elegant, and the food is good. The entertainment is good. I really have no complaints about it. I am booked on one of their newest class ships. It's the Beyond for February. And of course, I'll be doing a complete review of that cruise for you all. They have older ships that are very nice, and I'm looking forward to all the extra things that are on this new class of ship. They do have a central area called the Piazza where a lot of entertainment takes place. And in the late afternoon, early evening, they do have live band there, and they do play some dance music for us, so that makes me happy. And then as the evening goes on, the dance music becomes more and more contemporary. The Celebrity cabins are a good size, no problem there. In February, when we do our cruise on the Beyond, we will be in Aqua class, which I have never tried before. It's the class right below Suites, and it has a separate dining room called Blue, and also access to their spa, and you get, I think, some spa amenities. So that will be a completely new experience for us on Celebrity, and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope these off-the-cuff comments in some way are helpful to you, and I appreciate any comments below that you would like to make about any of these cruise lines or your suggestions. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.